It's raining. It's 9 in the morning. It's real spooky vibes in here. And I have decided to read Gods and Monsters. This is the third book in the Serpent and Dove trilogy, third and final, so I'm finishing another series. It is like 600 pages, so yeah. But I've decided I'm gonna finally tackle it. It's the perfect fall vibes. Obviously, it's like technically still summer, but I was just like in the mood because it's so dark and spooky and like raining. It's just the perfect atmosphere for a mysterious, spooky, witchy book. I'm like 16 pages in. It's already like real spooky. They're in like a church. There's a graveyard and it's like misty, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. And I can already tell the witchy vibes are gonna be immaculate, and I'm really excited. I'm a little bit nervous because I did not love Blood and Honey, which is the second book, but I loved Serpent and Dove. I read it in like fall 2020, which was the perfect time. It's definitely a fall read. But then I read Blood and Honey this spring of 2021, and I don't think that was the right move because it's springtime and it just didn't fit the vibes. And I like really didn't like Blood and Honey, and I think that's why, is because I was reading it in the springtime. And I think this series is absolutely a series that you need to read with the right vibes, like with the right atmosphere. And that's this. So I'm gonna do it. So it's been like 3 days and I'm halfway through Gods and Monsters. I'm loving it. I did not expect to be. I am flying through it. This is a 600-page book and I'm already halfway. I don't understand. I don't understand how I got here. Normally I'm like hyper aware of page numbers and like where I'm at in the book, and this is just not it. I'm just enjoying the story, which is new and exciting and hasn't happened in a really long time, which means I'm actually enjoying like this book a lot. It's giving major 5-star vibes, which I don't understand. I mean, Serpent and Dove, the first book, I did give it 5 stars. I loved it. The second book was the one that dragged for me, but I think it's the atmosphere. I think it's the time of year that I'm reading it. And I have my like spooky mystical forest music going in the background while I read. So that's been helping. Where they're at right now, it's kind of just a lot of, I don't know how to describe it. Like they're kind of just bouncing around, but it's super atmospheric. Very little plot development is happening. They're kind of just like making allies and bouncing around to different areas of the world. They had a goal at the beginning. They did an exorcism, which lasted like 50 pages, which I was a little bit frustrated by, but I also had to leave for work in like the next half hour while I was reading that part. So it was frustrating, but I think all in all it helped it because it was an exorcism, but it was also a kind of realization of self, which I loved. And now they're in like a mermaid land, like they're literally underwater, which I don't know how I feel about it because it seems a little bit cheesy, but the main character also thinks it's cheesy and ridiculous. So I think that like the self-awareness helps it feel less cheesy. I don't know how long we're gonna be here for. They're in this mermaid land to find another ally, and I can just see that things are gonna go wrong, and like they're gonna need to like get out of there really quickly, or that's kind of been a theme where it's like they need to run and like fight on their way out. So that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. I hope it doesn't drag, because I've heard people say that the middle part of this book drags a lot, although I literally am exactly halfway through and it hasn't for me so far. I'm halfway, but I kind of feel like maybe I've hit a block, because I'm like, oh yay, I'm halfway, but there's still so much left. Like there's basically a full-length novel left in this book. Yeah, I don't know what else could happen, because I'm and then there's the like, I'm loving it so much that I don't want it to just drag and get worse. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna take a break for like maybe an hour and then come back to it. But I'm surprised and I'm really loving it. Like it's 5-star material right now, and I'm worried that it's not gonna be by the end, but only time will tell. We'll see. So I just got back from the coffee shop I was at, and I am on page 450 out of 612. I'm only at like 150 pages from the end. It's coming up so quickly, but I'm also not ready, and I feel like I'm not prepared for what's about to happen based on what's already happened. Like this author has no issues like doing like the most heartbreaking thing ever. What just happened is that, or it happened a while ago, but that's like the main thing that's been happening, is that Lou, the main character, was possessed, and then she got unpossessed, and then 5 minutes passed, and then Reed, the main guy, forgot that she exists. So they were like happy and in love for like 5 minutes, and now he doesn't know who she is, but she's not possessed, so it's like a flip-flop. Yeah, so there's 150 pages left. I don't know if I want to finish it today. I think I do, but I also am totally okay if I don't. But I think it's possible based on how much I am loving it. I'm still shocked. I'm still so shocked at how much I love it. I really didn't expect it. It is slow. I will give that to everybody who said that, but it's super atmospheric, which is what is drawing me in, which is what is making me love this book. And I love the characters. And when I can see an atmosphere, when I can see a setting perfectly in my mind, and it's like misty and spooky, it's exactly the right thing, exactly what I needed. So I have a feeling this is going to be a 5-star, which I'm really excited about. If it's not, I'm gonna be so sad and I will eat my words. But something really, really, really terrible and against my wants would have to happen for it not to be a 5-star. I have finished, oh my god, I almost said Serpent to Death. I finished Gods and Monsters, and you might be able to tell by my face, I loved it. It's absolutely a 5-star. This is my life. Okay, it went the other way. I loved it. I just like, you know how I said a 5-star is a feeling? This is that feeling where I'm getting like giddy talking about it. And like super brief summary, like I said earlier, Lou is possessed, and then she becomes not possessed, and then Reed doesn't remember her, but then they have to team up with all their friends who are like monsters, but also like witches and like werewolves and a dragon, to defeat Lou's mom, who's like the big bad witch and is trying to like kill everybody. And there's like the men of the story who are trying to kill the witches. And so it's this big battle. It's super political and like people die and there's a lot of blood magic and magic in general. And it ended really sweetly and like not a lot of people were like hurt, and I loved the ending. It was so perfect and wrapped it all up in a bow, like wrapped the whole series up. And yeah, I'm just like so glad I loved this. I was really worried because I didn't like Blood and Honey at all, but I loved Serpent and Dove, so I was super conflicted when I was starting this. But this is like a 600-page book and I'm so proud of myself and I'm so happy that I read it. It was so daunting at the beginning, but like it flew. It flew. And that's the mark of a book that I really love. So as you can tell, I'm like really happy. I'm so glad we started out the spooky season with a good book. And next, I have The Damned by Renee, which is the second book in the Beautiful series, which is a vampire series. I'm not into vampires. I didn't read Twilight. I didn't read like all the Vampire Academy stuff, but I did really like The Beautiful. So, and this has been on my shelves for a while. And actually, fun thing, I read The Beautiful in like the same month that I read Serpent and Dove. So they're kind of like intrinsically linked. I also think I bought these two books together. So, but they're both like spooky. They both go with the vibes of the season. And so yeah, I'm gonna start this one either tonight or tomorrow. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Project Runway. I want to be reading, but my best friend's wedding is in 3 days and I have to hem my bridesmaid's dress, so can't read until this is done, but it's fine. I like sewing, so I figured you could tag along. So I don't think I have actually talked about this book. I've just taken a bunch of videos of me reading it. Basically, it's just like your classic vampire YA book. It's okay. It's not amazing. I have thoughts. So basically you start out and this girl has like forgotten everything that happened in the last book, which I guess works out in my favor because neither do I. But it's basically the classic like spooky vampire, like everything's nighttime. It's like the olden days, cobblestone streets, rainy in New Orleans, and it was like super great spooky vibes for the season, and it has lost me. I'm at the last like 100 pages right now, so 3/4 of the way through they switched to the fairy realm, and I wasn't expecting it, and I would rather it just be a vampire book, which it still is, but I would rather it be like classic vampire, like dark nighttime spooky stuff. And they're trekking through the fairy realm, and it is like high fantasy now, and it has lost me, and I have like 63 pages left, and I'm debating if I should finish it tonight. If I don't finish it tonight, I mean, I'm definitely finishing it tomorrow. But I just had to get this update in because I realized that I have literally just like not talked about this book, but I am enjoying it. It's just not the best book ever. Okay, quick update. I finished The Damned. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I was really enjoying it for the first half, and then it really lost me at the end. The climax was like too short. It happened in an instant, and there are so many intertwining storylines that are happening. There are so many different characters with so many different motives. It's like a kind of mishmash of like villains, which I guess is like okay, and when you think about the fact that like sort of everybody in the book could be a villain. Yeah, it wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing, like it was a solid book. So the last like final like gripe I have with it is that it's told in so many different perspectives. Like there are a bunch of people that it's being told from, but the main character's point of view is told in first person, and everybody else's point of views are told in third person. And there are some like kind of interludes where it's third person omniscient, and I'm kind of like, this is really confusing and a little bit annoying. I have to like flip my brain to be in first person all of a sudden. It's just weird. But I have The Righteous, which is the 3rd book in the series, and I'm kind of into this world right now, so I think I'm just gonna pick that up tomorrow. I have a cold and I plan on doing absolutely nothing, so ignore me if I'm a little bit loopy. Again, this audiobook thing is weird. I very, very randomly started listening to Two Dark Reigns yesterday, and I finished it just now. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really loved it. This is the 3rd book in the 3 Dark Crowns series, and it's a super dark, mysterious fantasy about 3 like young queens who have to like fight to be the one ruling queen. It's just a super atmospheric, super spooky island that these queens have to like fight each other to rule. That's all I'm gonna say, because the rest is like, this is obviously the 3rd book in the series. The rest is like pure spoilers, but I loved this. This world, this story has a really, really perfect way of expanding upon itself. In the 1st book, it was just the queens fighting. The 2nd book, there was like more knowledge of the world around them. This book, they're all over the place. There's secrets being found out, reasons for crazy stuff that's happening being found out by the 3 queens. There are characters being revealed, and it's just a really, really good book, and a really good book for the season as well. So I just finished this, and I already picked up the audiobook for 5 Dark Fates, which is the 4th and final book of the series, because I'm just like in this world. Similar thing that happened with The Damned and the Righteous, where I'm just like, I'm in the world, I want to read it. I have been listening to Two Dark Reigns on audio all day, and I just want to continue listening to this on audio, so I'm gonna do it. I have my jigsaw puzzle app on while I listen to it. It's the perfect thing to just focus on the storyline while I do a puzzle. Yeah. So another book down. I'm almost gonna finish another series, which I'm like so proud of myself for. And as for The Righteous, I started it. I think I'm on like page like 22. Guys, this book does not follow the same storyline as the other 2. I think it's gonna focus more on the fairy, like fae part of the world, which I am not a big fan of, because obviously I wanted like a dark spooky vampire book. But basically there are 2 different characters. The main characters in this book are 2 different main characters than the main characters in the last 2 books, and they are, I think, going on a quest to find a cure for something that happened at the end of The Dam, which I like it provides like some middle ground, but I just wasn't expecting it. It came out of left field. Like, this book is literally teal, so yeah, I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't really look like a vampire book, and it's not. is the answer. It's short. It's only like 360 pages, so it won't be too difficult. And yeah, those are my plans while I'm sick in my house this weekend. Hi, it's the next day. I am still sick and I finished Five Dark Fates. So I have finally finished this series and I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I again listened to it on audio. I literally picked it up, like I said, right after I finished Two Dark Reigns yesterday, and I just finished it today. So it kind of took me like only a full 24 hours to listen to it. I didn't film anything because I had my puzzle app going on my phone and that's what I used to film. So, but I definitely read it and I definitely really loved it. It was a really good conclusion to this quartet. The world, again, only expanded from the other books that we've gotten. The only thing that fell a little bit short for me was the ending. As you could expect from a book like this, it was a big battle, but it felt, I don't know, there was just something missing from it. But yeah, I finished another book and I don't know, it was just a really good way to spend these sick days, just listening to an audiobook. And I don't have another one currently like on the docket, but I think I'm gonna chill out and maybe watch some TV for now. I don't know where I stand with The Righteous, but it's the next one up. So I feel like in this vlog I've been like filming without any timeline, so I'm just gonna end it here. I finished 4 books, which I'm like super proud of myself about, and they're all like spooky with the season. I feel like I'm actually like out of a slump because these books I have really enjoyed. I feel like lately I've just been reading books to get them done, and these, like, for the most part, like, I was really enjoying myself when I was reading them. Yeah, so that's it. Catch you later.